Welcome to our special coverage of Royal Ascot with our resident horse racing expert, Paul Ulster. We'll be guiding you through the week with all the best tips and race previews and looking to find you the best value with all the quality on show in races this week. So Paul, the biggest week in the flat racing calendar, what is it about Royal Ascot that gets you excited?
Well, a lot of things really, Steve. I mean, it really is the thing we all look forward to. You can keep your Dubai World Cup and you can keep the Breeders' Cup to some extent. They're both at the beginning and the end of the season when horses either may not be at their peak or past their peak. But here, getting to midsummer in June at Royal Ascot, amazing historic event. The best horses, not just in Britain and Europe, but very often from around the world. And they're all together for 5 days. From a punting point of view, it's just a dream because you're able to get odds about horses that you can't get for the rest of the year because of the quality of the competition. So it's harder picking winners, but when you do find them, they're normally at very good odds.
Well, that's why you're here, Paul. Hopefully to pick some winners from the guys. So this weekend we've got 3 races that we're going to look at, and we start with the Group 1 Queen Anne Stakes, the opening race of the festival. So last year won by the Richard Fye trained Ribchester, who handed an early win to the favourite backers. So, Paul, do you think we should be back in the favourite again this year?
Well, it's day one on Tuesday. As you say, the favourite won it last year. This year, we think Rhododendron is going to be favourite for Aidan O'Brien. Brilliant filly. She won the Lockinge Stakes just last month, beating Lightning Spear. But I think the value is really to go with the horse that was just edged out by the width of a cigarette paper, Lightning Spear. He's an 8-1 chance. Such an unlucky loser, I thought, at Newbury. That was the second year in a row that he'd just been run out of that race. He deserves a big Group 1, this horse, trained by David Simcock. And I think they'll be a little bit wiser this time. Maybe hold on to him just a little bit longer before they ask him for his big effort. And at 8-1 each way with such as Paddy Power and Betfred, then I think Lightning Spear is the value against the 3-1 being offered about Rhododendron. I respect the American Raiders and other horses, but for me it's Lightning Spear at 8-1 in the Queen Anne.
All right, good bit of value there. So Lightning Spear at 8-1 for Paul. And next up we have the King's Stand Stakes. Always sees a lot of interest and is one of the big betting events in the meeting. And this year I'm sure it'll be no different. Lady Aurelia and Batash will be running it close for the favourite slot in the betting. But what do you think, Paul? Should our money be going to the favourites or out in the field again for a bit more value?
Well, I'm always looking for value, but I've got to say, having been through the race with pretty much a fine-tooth comb, it's hard to get beyond the front two. I think Washington, DC at a big price might go well for a place, but it's Batash against Lady Aurelia. Lady Aurelia is this brilliant American filly. She is so fast. She won by 7 lengths at Royal Ascot in 2016 in the Queen Mary. She then won very comfortably this race 12 months ago, and she's reportedly coming right back to form. She's trained by Wesley Ward. But I think Batash is a pretty exceptional horse, and the only fear we have with him is if he gets a little bit overexcited, which has happened once or twice. But when he's on song, as he was at Haydock, on his seasonal reappearance, he's a cracking good horse. He's officially the highest rated 5-furlong sprinter in Europe. He's against America's best 5-furlong sprinter. So it's a bit of a Muhammad Ali against George Foreman type of a thing here. We've got Batash against Lady Aurelia. They're both 9-4. I just come down on the side of Batash.
Alright, so Batash then for you, Paul. Looks to be a cracking race, that one. And finally, we look at the highlight race of the day, the St James's Palace Stakes. Another fantastic race with a stellar cast of top horses on form. But as always, Paul, we're looking for you to show us the way here. So who have you got your eye on in this one?
Well, in this event, I've gone with US Navy Flag, who's trained by Aidan O'Brien. This was the highest rated 2-year-old in Europe last season. He hasn't quite hit those heights yet as a 3-year-old, but he looked to be coming back to form because he was a good second in the Irish 2,000 guineas last time out. He was beaten by Romanized, who'll reoppose him, so he needs to take a step forward again to reverse that form, but I think he will do that, and I don't think they'll race him quite as freely from the front this time as they did at the Curragh. Now the favourite is Without Parole. He's an unbeaten horse trained by John Gosden. He's ridden by Frankie Dettori, but he's never won above listed class. The potential is there. He could be a world beater, but we don't know that yet because he's never really raced against horses of this class. So for me, US Navy Flag, I think, is again value, a 7-1 shot with the likes of Sporting Bet. and I think he'll do for me. I think he might spring a minor surprise.
Alright, so out in the field again, good bit of value across all our races there. So thank you, Paul, and there you have it, an exciting day ahead for you guys. Good luck with your bets, and be sure to check back in tomorrow for more Royal Ascot tips and previews from betting.net.